Well, now we come to the very last part of time, okay? It's about time control. So everything that you plan now is already in action. So basically the schedule is all there. Let's say this is a 12th major activity. This notes here is part of your earlier notes, huh? So go back to that notes on week 6 or week 7, week 6 or week 5. I think we've got this one in the picture. So go and have a look at it. Basically, these are your major activities. So you've got this a schedule. You can do this for the rest of the activities as well. I mean, like you can do it for smaller activities and then it will add up to the bigger activity. But it's the same thing as doing the original Gantt chart, okay? So what happened is, you've gone through Gantt chart, how to produce a Gantt chart. You've gone through resources, from resources doing your production, picking your resources numbers, and then doing a production rate. And then after that, you move on, and then create your project duration. From your project duration, you're able to create your first Gantt chart, and then in between, like I said, you still can do some risk management and all that. Then, or factoring up and factoring down as well for the duration. So once you've got duration done, you've got sequencing. So from the sequencing that you're doing, parallel, overlapping, and also sequential activities, then we can actually produce a Gantt chart. And then once you produce a Gantt chart, we run it through CPM, critical path analysis, with the critical path method. You've got your free float and total float. Then you go back and you plan your resources, you see, with your resources leveling and smoothing, okay, or you do your activity crashing, or fast tracking. Then what happens is we will now, execute the project according to the resources that we have replanned. And then the Gantt chart will look a little bit different. The final Gantt chart will look a bit different because you've already replanned your resources. So some of the time and line and all that will be shifted as well. Okay. And then that will be a final Gantt chart. So now your project is ongoing. As you move, you need to do tracking Gantt. Okay. So tracking Gantt is like adding another line under the activity. Okay. Under the original Gantt chart. So it's depicted usually by dotted or some form of line kind of bar, Mozart bar or something like that. It's not a smooth bar. This is what we will usually do with tracking Gantt. And Microsoft will have tracking Gantt as long as you key in the activities amount of completion, how many percentage, and it will automatically generate it for you. Okay. So, but you need to calculate that percentage of completion first. So basically, you need to know, okay, mobilization is consisting of what smaller activity, and each smaller activity takes how long, and then every activity to be completed is from 0 to 100, obviously. Okay. So usually we'll base on the quantity of work. So let's say, site, excavation, you're supposed to dig out, 100 ton or you're supposed to dig out a certain amount, certain meter cube of soil. Okay. So let's say you're supposed to dig out 100 meter cube of soil. Okay. So with this 100 meter cube of soil, it's over 2 months. So basically, every month you're looking at doing 50 meter cube of soil. Okay, or digging out 50 meter cube of soil. So that would be your expectation. Or sometimes you can actually load it up differently as well, meaning that month 1, month 2, month 3, month 4, you can have different percentage. So for example, month 1, because it's really, really a lot of things that's going on, I will put it as 20%. Month 2, I'll put it as 30%. And month 3, I'll put it as 30%. And in the last month, I will put it as 20%. So that would be your weightage to your activities, weightage. I mean, usually we'll just divide it equally. You're supposed to do, 50, 50, 25, 25, 25, 25%, for that 100 meter cube for over 4 months, for example. Then, or like I said, you can spread it out differently. So that's how you calculate your tracking Gantt. So in, let's say, when month 2 come already, you look at the amount of meter cube that, let's say month 1, let's say month 1, you need to check at the end of month 1 or at a certain date of month 1, let's say at the 21st or 22nd or 25th, when you need to produce a report. Usually we will do some calculation of the tracking, and we'll see that month 1, month 2, which you need to cut it off. You need to cut it off at a month. Okay, that's definitely. You need to cut it off. Let's say I'm talking about month 2 here. So let's say I'm cutting it off at month 2. So I will need to see for mobilization, what is the percentage that I've done. So depending on what is the weightage that you put in the different activities for mobilization could have 6, 7 activities such as site clearance and all that. Site clearance, machine, site office setup and all that. So let's say each one of them is 20%, one of them is 30%. You can put weightage according to the pricing, you can put weightage according to the numbers, you can put weightage according to the work. So a quantity of work. So then once you've done that, so you say, okay, month 1, I finished my mobilization, so that's 100% complete. But if let's say month 1, you have a bit of additional time, you didn't finish all your mobilization, you did not finish until 1.5 months. So this line, the bottom line, you will need to go longer. Okay, so it will go into second month or second and a half month. Then excavation, I used to start on time and maybe did not start on time because this one is not finished on time, for example. So what you did is you actually started a bit late. So then you cut off at month 2, you need to check, okay, how much quantity have I done? In this case, different activity, you can use different depiction or different what is that, denominator. So sometimes you can use quantity, sometimes you can use numbers, sometimes you can use the money aspects of things also can, but normally we as much as possible, we don't want to go into the money aspect, meaning that, if this mobilization, site office total mobilization is 100,000, site clearance is 20,000, so that's 20%. And then mobilization of equipment is 20,000, so that's 20%. We hardly want to do that, unless it's a very, very clear cut activity that is based on money. Otherwise, some activities such as that you have a lot of money coming in at the beginning, so that means your percentage is very high at the beginning, and that is not practical anymore. Okay, so what we need to do is, let's say using the work quantity, okay, foundation work is going to take us 2 months. So each month we're looking at finishing 50% of the work. Then what happened in month 2? So you go back and look at your work, all your work quantity that the work has been done, how much soil has been moved away. Then you will know that we've moved away 70 tons. So it means that at the month 2, 70%. So you key in Microsoft Excel, or you have to draw up to 70%. So obviously these are a little bit of mathematics, simple mathematics involved, that you need to see the length of the thing and what is 70%, then you need to draw it at 70% if you're doing it manually. But if you actually key in Microsoft Project, you just have to key in the work done is 70%, and it will automatically generate it up to the exact length for you. So then you will know your tracking. So this is like, as month goes on, you will track as you go along. So this red curve doesn't happen like this straight away. It will happen as you go along. So it will go longer. It will be everything will materialize as you finish the project in 10 months. Okay, so this is the overall. So it will indicate, like overshooting like this will indicate some form of delays. These are some form of delays. Okay, this is a bit earlier. Okay, so indicating delays is something that all project managers do not want. If it's on time, it's a beautiful word. A bit early is nice, but not necessary. But the actual progress, if it's overshooting, like in some of these cases, like activity 2, 3, 5, and then 7, all these are overshooting. Then we've got to do something about it.